Okay, it is 9:28 a.m. I might be a little more cautious today because I don't feel like I have that much sleep compared to a regular day. FER, it could be a morning panic bounce play if it looks clean. DSCR, this could be the same as well, although this thing could also turn around very quickly. It maybe try to get to the highs again. I don't know. HALB, I'll just be watching this for maybe it does a continued run. RSHN, I'd rather just watch it. NOST, maybe a morning panic bounce play. And I do have against on the other screen some more stocks just casually sitting there, but this is what I got right now. I'm probably just gonna take things cautiously, but yeah, that's what I'll be interested in. Okay, it is 9:48 a.m. None of these have really looked nice enough for me to want to trade. HALB, it did kind of do morning panic bounce play, but it wouldn't have been exact because it was only up just one day. I mean, sure, it's up from this 14 level here, but again, it doesn't have like those 3 green days in a row that I like looking at, and it did have a drop here, and then it came back, and then it went lower, and it actually held itself here. I guess here's a big volume candle, here's a consolidation candle, and at 41, out at VWAP right there, 44. Perhaps that could have been a play, but again, it wasn't really an exact science because of the fact that it's only been up, one green day, although it was up a lot that big green day. DSCR, it didn't really do one. On top of that, the volume was just super weak, so I kind of stopped looking at it once I noticed how little dollar volume it was trading. FERN just looks like a bunch of spaghetti. RSHN, this one actually is coming back to 94. I could have considered this one, but this one is just trading all weird. It's a sub penny. In theory, I could have put a bid at 92, risk 91 breaking, and that would have been I did have an order entry. Yeah, I would have been risking just $4. I didn't really do it because it wasn't an exact science, but it is at 94. Let's see what that would have been like if I could get able 368 to 376. So it's I'm not paying rent with that. I'm just curious. It did offer a move there. Out of all of these, NLST, nothing here. ATRX is a spiker. I might consider it if it touches VWAP at some point. I also might take a nap too. So that's where I'm at right now. Nothing really nice in terms of morning panic bounce plays, but I think I'll keep looking. Alright, it is 11:05 a.m. and yeah, I did take a nap and I am back. It doesn't seem like I really missed much either. HALB did have that drop here and it did turn around. This was like a lower low, so maybe had I been there I might have considered it, but again, this isn't really a perfect setup because of the fact that it was only up one green day. Again, although it was a lot, I just want to play it cautious in that sense, and it did kind of make sense because we had that big volume candle here, consolidation uptrend, and here we had a big volume candle, we had a consolidation candle, 39 to 43, so it actually wasn't that bad, and it kind of looks like a very imperfect head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulder, head and then shoulder right here, but I wouldn't have traded this point of the stock because it has such low volume. I need to look at things that in theory will have good volume, but this could have been a possibility, a morning panic bounce play, lower low setup. DSCR, it didn't do much, it did drop here, but I wanted to have traded this because it didn't have like a clean morning panic bounce play in the beginning, so I wanted to consider this. I would have been more likely looking at HALB, but again, we have that thing with the daily chart. RSHN also did something similar. This one wasn't perfect, but it did turn around. In theory, again, I could have been in at 92 if my order got executed on the bid. This one did get past VWAP to 98, and then we did get a lower low. So what I missed was really lower lows on really imperfect setups. RSHN doesn't seem that nice, and it has a lot of potential resistance back here. HALV was only up like one big green day here. So none of that was really perfect. FERN is like DSCR. It didn't really have a clean morning panic bounce play. So I wouldn't yeah, I wouldn't have considered this one anymore. It didn't really put up a lower low either. This would have been a higher low, and I wouldn't have traded that. I did do just one trade right now. It looks like the setup might still work, but it's not the same anymore. ATRX, I thought, you know, maybe a dip towards VWAP, but I wasn't here for any of this price action. So in theory, I think I did miss some setups, but those setups were not really that perfect. And speaking of imperfect setups, if this one works out, I was looking at BT. I traded a tiny $200 position because it was speculative. I only lost $2. That's perfect. You know, under 1% loss. I saw this as a potential inverse head and shoulders, shoulder, head, and then I thought maybe the shoulder could form here. It had this drop. I thought, let me take a buy while it's dropping. It dropped a little more. I was risking, I think it was, where was it? I think it was risking 80, like 81, and then kind of like when it cracked it, I cut losses. But you know, the nice thing about this one is that this thing could crack this level here at 955, and this thing could make a crazy, you know, short squeeze explosion if that happens. It is uptrending from where I cut losses, but again, that's just a matter of, you know, being speculative. I took a buy at 1102, which was in this downtrend, and I got in at 889 and a half. So right here, I got in right here at 1102, this red candle right here, and I cut because, you know, it kind of broke that range. 1103 the next minute, it cut it, and it did get a little lower, but it's trying to turn around, but it's no longer an inverse head and shoulder, shoulder head. This shoulder is right at the head. It has a wick right at the same level too. It did hold VWAP. You could say it was a double bottom, but it's not an inverse head and shoulders, and that's what I was going for. The setup looks like it could work. I mean, it could get to 920 or maybe get close to it. Best case scenario is that it keeps uptrending and it breaks past 920, it breaks past the high of day, and it does some crazy move on the upside. But you know, that's like best case scenario. If it just, you know, just the fact that it did this, it got close to 920, this could be considered a win. But that's fine. You know, I was going for inverse head and shoulder, shoulder head, and then this thing just ended up being too long, so it's not really perfect, although it could still make a move. So that's where I'm at the moment. I'll be looking at OTCs to see what is up or not. Maybe there's a new one. This one has still not opened. Maybe I don't know what I'm doing, but I thought today was a day this one would open. I'll keep looking, but that's all I got. And no, I wouldn't trade this one. I'm just interested in seeing how this one runs. Okay, it is 8:36. I have not seen what the markets have done since the last recording, and I just, you know, this is going to be the end of the recap. You see, this thing has not even updated since 12, so let's just see what happened with BT ultimately. It looks like it downtrended even more. My buy and sell was somewhere up, not up here, but I think around here at 1102. Yeah, 1102 is when I sold. It did turn around. It got to 917 from that 881 level. Made another bottom here, tried again, and then we have that classic NASDAQ big random red candle that just wipes everything out all at once. Everyone's fear just dumped at once, I guess. Just a tiny $2 loss. You know, it sucks having a loss, but it's alright. It was a good trade attempt. It's going to take a long time, I think, for me to be profitable trading NASDAQs, because they are just so damn choppy, so freaky. But I know it's doable. It didn't break past this level, but maybe one day it will, and it'll look incredible. HALV was not really that nice, but in theory, you know, it could have been you know, some kind of a morning panic bounce play. It wasn't really nice. It did do a lower low, same with the SCR. I guess if you want to call this, I wouldn't have done anything with this. RSHN would have been more likely, but I guess the turnaround was kind of fast. It wasn't really like a perfect setup today. It really wasn't. ATRX I guess eventually kind of turned around, but I would have been scared trading this because it's known to be super wicky. That's really all I got. Again, I wasn't really that involved in the markets today. I did take a nap, and yeah, that's all I got really. Hopefully there are going to be better setups, but I'll probably just have to adapt and try new things. In the meantime, it could have been much worse today, so I'm thankful overall. If anything, it was still some more experiences. So you're seeing the same morning penny bounce way lower low setups, even if they weren't that perfect.